down. If this misses, she's down 2 set points.
Okay, time to talk a little tennis here on CB24 Breakfast. Montreal's Leyal Annie Fernandez. There she is playing her first match at the Aussie Open. The 20-year-old from Montreal trailed early in the first set before finding her groove against Alizé Cornet from France. Fernandez rolling here to a 7-5, 6-2 win in just under an hour, moving her through into the second round. A good win there. Joining us live this morning, Stephen Boughton, the director of Slice Tennis, joining us from British Columbia. Dark and early indeed, Stephen. Really appreciate you getting up early to talk about this for us here. Let's start there with Leylah Annie's win today. Alizé Cornet, she can be a pretty tricky competitor. How important was it to get a win like that under her belt so early in this tournament?
Well, thanks for having me on, Nick. I have nowhere better to be at 4 a.m. And yeah, Leylah, great start to her for the tournament. You know, Alizé Cornet is a tough opponent to have in the first round. She's a veteran. Leylah is not that. But yeah, Leylah was able to play her game right from the get-go and really play confidently and just get a great start, like you said, because last year she went out in the first round. So it can be critical for confidence, obviously, just to get that first round win in a good way and then get the tournament rolling for herself.
And I mean, we're playing a highlight right now where Cornet drop shots her. You can see her foot injury seems 100% healed as she hustled into the net to win that point. So that's good to see. Let's stick with the Canadians right now, because we had pretty good, opening for the Canadians. Andreescu wins, Schiappa wins, Auger wins, Auger-Aliassime wins. Of course, he takes out Pospisil in that. But let's stay on the women's side of the draw. What's up next for Bianca Andreescu? Because I know if she makes the third round, she's in for a real challenge.
Yeah, she is in for a real challenge if she makes the third round. She said that, she's just going to take each match, day at a time as it comes. So she played very well in her first round. I think we're showing highlights here. I was super impressed how she came forward. She looked like she didn't want to play from the baseline with Buzkova. And, her all-court game has really improved in this last year, even better than it's always been. So that was a confident win for her. And yeah, if she is to make it to the third round, she's talked about, she's looking forward to like the ultimate test in women's tennis right now.
Yeah, that would be a big one indeed against Swiatek. So we'll have to sort of cross our fingers. In the meantime, let's talk about the men's side of the draw. Before we talk the Canadians, Rafael Nadal, always a fan favorite, certainly more of a favorite it seems than Djokovic, although apparently you can't boo Djokovic at the Aussie Open this year. But what about Nadal? How did he do in his first round match? I know he won, but how did he look?
Yeah, I thought he looked okay. I wouldn't say it's his best match or his best level yet. He's lost a number of matches coming into this tournament, and he had a young Jack Draper who's a very dangerous opponent in the first round. And Jack Draper, actually won the second set against him quite easily, and then he started to cramp, though, as younger players can sometimes have that happen. So it seems like Rafa Nadal got through that match. Maybe he got a little bit of help from the physical decline of his opponent. But all in all, it's a good confidence win for him. And I thought he did look better than some of the matches leading up to the Australian Open. So that's a good sign for the Rafa fans out there.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, he's just he's a legend. He's a GOAT, right? So there's no doubt about that. Okay, let's talk about the Canadian men. Auger-Aliassime, a lot of people think he's going to win a slam this year. He, stumbled in the first set against Pospisil, goes on to a win. And then Schiappa has a bit of a struggle as well. What did you take from both of their first round matches, and what are they up against in the second round?
Yeah, for Felix, he is, he's got the pressure on him, right? Because I think everyone, after the end of the season that he had last year, arguably the hottest player on tour, winning the Davis Cup for Canada, let's go, amazing result. I think coming into this Australian Open, he has pressure on himself. He wants to perform. He had a great tournament last year, so I think early on in that match with Pospisil, maybe just a bit of nerves. Must be weird playing your Davis Cup teammate as well. Was able to overcome that and play well and get through that. So yeah, he's got Alexander Molcan next, who, again, he should be the big favorite against. So for him, it's just about playing his game, playing tennis off of his terms on his first serve, big forehand, and then just playing confidently through matches, and he should be able to progress deep in this tournament. Shapovalov played fairly well against Dusan Lajovic, tough veteran opponent as well. He's starting to play a style of tennis at the end of 2022 that I feel can really help him contend for these tournaments and contend against any player out there. Controlled aggression from Shapovalov. As we know, he's got all the shots, and I saw a lot of that yesterday, which was great.
All right, Stephen, before I let you go, let's talk Djokovic. 30 seconds left here. He was not in Australia last year. There was all kinds of drama there. How is he sort of in this tournament? What's the mindset that we're hearing from him?
Yeah, well, I've called it the Djokovic revenge tour. I think other people have as well. So I think he's a mental giant, right? So he's always taking things, it seems like in the best way. So I think here he's just going to let his tennis do the talking. He's playing right now as we speak, late night. And yeah, I have no doubts that he's the favorite in this tournament and that he's going to put on a strong showing if his hamstring doesn't stop that.
Right, exactly. That is a key thing for him as well. And it's interesting to see the sort of tour changing. Listen, Stephen Boughton from Slice Tennis, really great to talk to you this morning. Appreciate you getting up so early for us out in British Columbia. Perhaps we can chat again throughout the Slam. Have a great day.